sweet adventure begins today. Oh, how lovely we know it will be. In the great fields of candy we'll laugh and play. Then we'll race to the gingerbread tree. Soon we will follow the rain.
Hello, Scenesters! Today we're talking about another animated film. This movie is special because it's probably made for one of the youngest demographics, preschoolers ages 3 through 5, which is probably as soon as children begin having the attention span to actually sit down and watch an entire movie. Because small children typically don't go out to see a lot of movies, there are not really as many movies made for them in the same way they make other movies for other genres. A studio might have the budget to make hundreds of low-budget horror films or buddy comedies, but typically only a handful of movies for preschool-age children get made every year, and normally by toy companies or working with publishers from popular book series. But here at Psychology and Movies, we believe movies are a great way to give your child positive messages, as well as important lessons about safety, kindness, integrity, and responsibility, as well as show your child that you love them by bonding over shared experiences, like watching the same movie. Your child could have a strong connection to an important relative that is passed on by showing them their favorite movie, so long as it's child appropriate, because movies surpass time and space. I truly believe movies are magical, so I love making these videos. Anyway, we have a very special movie to talk about today, Candyland, The Great Lollipop Adventure. And it's special because it's got some good messages about being on time, about integrity, and listening to your parents, and just little messages about kindness and not giving up that are perfect for little kids in a way that makes sense to them and can be a good supporting material for your own parenting. Children love modeling themselves from things that they watch, and they feel an empathy with characters that they see on screen, and so this movie can be a good example of a lot of positive virtues we'll get into here in a bit. Now, I know a lot of people might be put off by the title alone simply because of the word candy in it. I totally get that. Maybe you're trying to encourage your child not to eat candy, and so I totally understand not wanting your child to watch a movie glorifying candy. However, I'm actually going to be going over a few criticisms of this movie at the very end, but the gist of it is, I feel those can be good parenting opportunities to have a great discussion with your child about certain topics and expectations, like about eating candy, so they can be knowledgeable and make good healthy choices. We'll save that for the end though. For now, let's get into why I like this movie. So Candyland, The Great Lollipop Adventure is about a little gingerbread boy named Jib, who is supposed to deliver a special tribute to Candy Castle. He's actually one of several representatives traveling from their corner of Candyland to bring a special treat to the big festival, and we meet a few of them throughout the movie. And then alongside that, Princess Lolly, who deals with feeling insecure when she's not sure she can be the center of attention at the ceremony in case she embarrasses herself in front of everyone. And lastly, there's an evil villain, Lord Licorice, that plots to steal Princess Lolly's lollipop wand and use it to turn all of Candyland into licorice. I've always hated licorice because I think it tastes like cough syrup. The movie is a little less than an hour long, and mostly centers around Jib meeting people trying to get to Candy Castle while still trying really hard to be on time because he takes his job very seriously. I really like that aspect a lot, and this is the main reason I wanted to do this video. Integrity. Integrity is when we do what we'll say we'll do, and it's also how we behave when no one else is looking. Jib is such an excellent example of integrity because his mom sends him out on this big important mission unsupervised, and the entire time Jib takes it very seriously and does his best to avoid wasting time or messing around so that he's not late for his important task. Parents, you know how hard it is to get your child to be on time for things. And finally, here's a character that really treats being on time like it's super important. This is such a basic but helpful skill to have in life, because anytime a person can set goals for themselves and accomplish them, even small goals like being on time, this is huge for building their confidence and character. You'll also notice that Jib resists temptation and holds true to his job even with mom not around. Parents, I know there is so much stress in trying to drill certain important things in your child's head. That way they will be safe and protected. Look both ways before crossing the street. Always brush your teeth before bed and when waking up. Don't forget your clothes or other important things somewhere or lose them like at a friend's house. Always be careful about strangers and never follow them into non-public areas. Be careful and do not play with electrical outlets, especially with water. These are rules that we are constantly drilling into our littles' heads. That way, hopefully they will follow these rules even when we're not there. Rules we want our own little children to follow, that way they can keep themselves safe without needing to be kept in a crib like tiny babies. That way children can explore the world safely and confidently knowing they are showing good and safe character. By Jib staying on task and not wanting to stop, he is showing great integrity and showing that he listens to his mom and keeps what she says in his heart even when she's not there. When our children love us, they want to follow our words and advice even when we're not around. It's when we don't have a great relationship with our kids that they want to rebel as soon as no one is looking. Jib even avoids a lot of peer pressure to waste time from the somewhat annoying but overall well-meaning Mr. Mint, who constantly wants to stop to play and waste time. Mr. Mint represents the temptation to not work and just play, and so Jib is a great counterexample to tell our children to be like, because he puts what he promises he will do before having fun or goofing off. This is a wonderful trait to instill in our children to contrast Mr. Mint. And of course, Mr. Mint isn't that bad, just a little bit airheaded and irresponsible. I love how this movie deals with integrity, and I also love that not everything has to go our hero's way throughout the film. They have little victories, but they also have significant failures that they push through without giving up and often learning along the way. Learning to not give up when things get hard is such an important thing to learn at an early age. When we don't give up, we are never truly defeated, and we will continue to grow and get better. So I love that message within the movie. The Princess Lolly subplot is super important also. I like everything involving her story, from her patient dad, to her supportive and encouraging sister, to the theme of feeling shy and inadequate whenever the spotlight is on us, worrying that we will fail or embarrass ourselves. We've all felt like that, but then we tried anyway and learned that it wasn't as bad as we thought, or we were able to get through it. We can be a part of anything if we believe in ourselves. Another subtle theme of the movie is the idea of diversity and inclusion, which is when many groups come together towards a common purpose or goal. Not like Hollywood's more recent definition of diversity and inclusion, which in my opinion is either tokenism or full-on replacement. This version of inclusion is about embracing individuals of different types, because anyone can be helpful or a friend, and more importantly, help us in ways we might miss out on if we don't act with kindness and empathy. There's a lot of other little tiny details I like within this film, and you can find them all across the background. Like how Lord Licorice's cape has literal licorice twists in it, or this cute-looking little peanut basket dog. Even this slide sequence, which I wasn't sure why they needed slides in the first place when I first saw this backdrop, but then that setup ends up paying off with this slide sequence, which reminded me a lot of another great slide sequence from another children's classic. Little cute details like that, alongside the great musical numbers, help keep children laughing and engaged, and laughing is so good for little children. My minor critiques about this movie are the overuse of candy. I firmly believe children should not eat too much candy, and should develop good personal habits not to eat too much, even if offered to them at times when maybe the parent may not be around. Watching this movie can be a good time to politely remind children that eating too much candy can be bad for us, especially our tummies. Eating too much candy can make us feel tired and grouchy, or have trouble focusing, and even make us throw up if we eat way too much. And throwing up is not fun, and so we want to tell children to be careful, to never eat too much candy, and learn the connection between eating too much sugary foods or junk foods and feeling sick, or just tired and cranky. Luckily, there's a few parts where Jib eats healthier foods like oranges or peanut butter, so you can kind of use that as an example to reinforce that even in Candyland, there are still healthy options. I also don't love that Jib is so trusting of strangers, but that might be a good time to remind your child that while everyone is friendly in Candyland, except Lord Licorice, in the real world that is not the case, and so to always have a trusted adult nearby within earshot and never go off alone with a stranger or someone the child doesn't trust, like a grandparent or older sibling. But I feel like these issues are minor as long as you talk about them with your child at some point to help give them more rules and structure to follow and feel safe and loved. Children adore when we set rules and boundaries for them because it gives them something to follow and feel like they're contributing also. When we love the people that take care of us, we want to show our gratitude and appreciation by obeying and treating our responsibilities with dignity and honor. I love this movie. I think the animation is cute, the music numbers are bops, but most importantly, it's got good messages to share with our children about listening to your parents, like Jib and Lolly do, of being on time and not losing things, of not giving up, and being kind even when we're scared or nervous, maybe especially even then. And that we feel good about ourselves when we do what we promise. That's why this is the first official Great Movies for Children feature. I guess I've actually talked about a lot of kids' movies so far, but this is my first overall recommendation and not necessarily a discussion on one psychology trait. Candyland, The Great Lollipop Adventure. Available for free on YouTube, and I will link the video in the description below. Excellent movie for children 3 through 5 years old. Children who are older might feel it's too simple and young for them, but I think a lot of Candyland enthusiasts love this movie also, and there's just enough passion and enthusiasm injected into this movie to elevate it from what could be an otherwise pointless movie just to sell toys to a cute, adorable movie about being on time, helping others in need, and showing kindness. Your little children will love it. This has been Movie Review Justin. This is Great Movies for Children, and if you like this video, like and subscribe because I talk about other kids' movies as well as just regular movies for regular adults on my channel also. And again, I will link the Candyland movie in the description box below. This is just one of my side projects, but I think movies are wonderful to help kids learn and explore the world. So if you like this one, like and subscribe because this helps the channel grow, reach more people, and encourages me to keep making similar videos. Thank you so much and see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay healthy and informed.